Hi everyone, Riley from InMusic here. Today, I'm going to cover some basic assembly and setup tips for the pads and cables of your Alesis Surge or Nitro Mesh electronic drum kit. These tips can help you prevent common problems and extend the life of your kit. First things first, let's get the drum rack assembled. Completely unbox all parts included in your kit, and simply follow the picture guide and the assembly instructions included with your kit to put the drum rack together. If you need a copy of the picture guide, I've provided a link to it down in the description. When using the included Allen wrench to fasten certain pieces of the drum rack, keep in mind that the exact angle of each piece of the rack doesn't need to be adjusted perfectly just yet. You'll get a better sense of exactly where each piece of the kit needs to be aligned after you mount the pads. Speaking of, now that our rack is set up, let's learn how to properly mount the pads. When mounting your pads, make sure that the sides of each pad aren't in contact with each other or the drum rack. If they are, the force that's transferred through the pads and rack while you're playing the kit can result in double triggers, ghost triggers, or missed triggers. Additionally, when mounting the cymbal pads, make sure to remove the felt washers from the bottom of the pads. After you place the cymbal on the cymbal stand, put the felt washer on top of the cymbal before fastening it to the stand. Be sure to do this for all cymbals, as the felt washers will not only make the cymbals more secure on their mounts, but also protect them from damage that would be caused by the cymbal repeatedly hitting against the fastener while the kit is being played. Now that your pads are mounted, it's time to tighten the heads of the snare and tom pads. The drum heads are intentionally left loose for shipping purposes. This is to prevent damage to the heads in case of expansion and contraction due to temperature changes during shipment. Use your kit's included drum key to tighten the heads. To keep the amount of tension across the head equal, use a diagonal clockwise pattern while tightening the screws, just like you would when tightening an acoustic drum kit. So here I'm going to start with the snare. Let's say I start at the top left screw. Using my drum key, I'll tighten it at least half a turn. Then I'll tighten the bottom right screw, which is diagonally across from the one that we started on. Then I'll move to the top center screw, then the bottom center, then the top right, and finally the bottom left. Using this same technique, tighten the screws of the tom pads. Be sure not to over-tighten the screws, as this can overstretch the head and damage it. Again, for right now, make sure each screw is tightened at least half of a turn of the drum key. When setting up the kick drum and kick pedal, make sure to align the beater so that the felt side is facing away from the kick pad. The hard plastic side of the beater will connect with the kick pad more consistently, providing a better overall response. Now that the pads are mounted and your kick and hi-hat pedals are situated, feel free to adjust the angles of each piece of the rack more precisely, including the pad mounts and cymbal stands, using the Allen wrench to make adjustments as needed. Now that the rack and pads are assembled, let's get the cables connected. Before doing this, make sure all cables in the included cable snake are untangled if necessary. Plug the summed end of the cable snake into the drum module, then use the included screws to secure it to the module. After doing this, mount the module on the far left side of the drum rack, just to the left of the hi-hat stand. Next, grab your included Velcro straps and begin running each part of the cable to its appropriate pad, starting with the hi-hat. The cables are labeled at the ends in accordance with the drum voice they correspond to in the drum module. Use one hand to plug each cable into the pad's 1/4-inch jacks, while using your other hand to hold the other cables against the rack. Once you've connected all pads on that side of the rack, use one of the Velcro straps to secure the cables to that portion of the rack. Repeat this process, working your way around the kit from the hi-hat to the second tom, until all cables are connected to their corresponding pads and pedals and secured to the drum rack with the Velcro straps. Be sure not to wrap any cables around each other, as this can cause drum triggering issues while playing the kit. Now all that's left to do is to plug your drum module into a power outlet with its included power adapter, plug in a pair of headphones or external speakers, and grab a seat behind your kit and start jamming. For more resources on using your Surge or Nitro Mesh kit, be sure to check out our video on understanding and adjusting the drum trigger settings on these kits. The link is down in the description. If you need further assistance with using your kit, head over to alesis.com/support, where you'll find the Alesis knowledge base and a portal to reach out to the Alesis technical support team. Thank you so much for tuning in.